Okay, this is just a brief tutorial on how to use Microsoft Word. If you are an experienced user of Microsoft Word, then most of this you probably already know, but there may be a few tips and tricks in here that you don't know. So the first thing is to open the document. You just open the program of Microsoft Word, and you go to File, and then you'd go to New, or if you wanted to look for something that you already have, you could just select that document and open it up. But we're going to just do a new document here, and we just select a blank document, and here we go. So the first thing we want to look at is our font and font size. So it defaults to Calibri 11. A lot of that's fine for a lot of papers, or a lot of teachers don't mind that. It's a little more common for papers to be in Times New Roman with a 12-point font. So if I'll just go ahead and type that out. Let's say you wanted to change that to a different font and size. You just click and drag and highlight the text, and you can go, we could take it back to Calibri, we could change the font, anything to large or small, but we'll go ahead and leave it at, go back to Times New Roman. Okay. So just a few, let's say we're writing a paragraph, and you can see that when I hit return here, it's putting an extra space in between those paragraphs. And so we want to find out what the spacing is here between paragraphs. Is it single? Is it double? Is it putting an extra space between paragraphs? And so you can just highlight the text in question and do a right click. So most of the time we're clicking the left button on the mouse, or you can do a right click, and it opens up this menu here, and you can come down to paragraph and select that, and then it takes us down here to spacing. And right now it's at single spacing, and not only is it single spacing, but the problem is it's putting an extra space between paragraphs. And so we're going to want to click don't add space between paragraphs of the same style. Okay, so we'll click that and see now it's not adding an extra paragraph. But let's go ahead, and I'm going to pull some text just so we have some more text to work with. I'm going to pull some from the other document. I'll take these paragraphs. So this will give us a little more to work with. This spacing is double spaced, and we'll want to, let's say we wanted to change that to single spacing. We could just highlight and select it, go to paragraph, select on the menu here single, and then that's already checked. We don't want extra space between the paragraph. And there we go, that's single spaced. For your assignments, most of your assignments are going to be double spaced, so we'll go ahead and take it back to double. Click on that, double, and then OK. Okay, but look at this text that I pasted here. It's of a different font and style, and sometimes when you're pulling text from, like, let's say the internet, you have a quotation or some source, electronic source, and you want to pull a quotation or something from that, and you copy it and paste it into your Word document. It might be in a different font style and a different color. Well, you need to change that to be consistent with the color and font that you're already working with. So this text that I pasted in here from that other document is not the same. So we'll go ahead and highlight this, and we'll go up to Times New Roman and change that. It's already at 12-point font, so we're good there. Let's say the text came in at a different color. Let's say we have some red text there and we want to change it. Again, you highlight the text, click and drag, and then you come up here to the color, and just you can turn that back. Okay, a few other things. These are just basic things that you probably know, but if you're completely new to this, you don't. You can highlight text, you can make it bold, you can make it italicized, you can underline it, or you can do all of them at the same time. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the right hand click feature. That's pretty important. It has a lot of useful tools. So I'll just pull up the menu. I'm just going to come to a random spot and pull up the menu, and we'll see here. Actually, I'll choose a word here. And first, let's talk about copy and paste. Extremely valuable tool. Whenever you want to copy something, you just highlight the text, right-click, copy, put the cursor wherever you want the text, and then right-click again and select paste. Okay, so that's obviously very useful. Another useful thing is the undo button. Let's say you highlighted some text and you accidentally deleted it, or you do something wrong. You paste something in there that you didn't really want in that spot. You can click undo. You come up here to the top and just click that, and there it goes. It undoes the last mistake, and actually it has a memory. It goes back for everything that you've done for the whole document is in there. You could just keep clicking undo, and it would reverse everything that you've done. So that's an important. Let's talk about a review. Sometimes you'll be reviewing one another's papers, and maybe you'll use the comment feature. If you come up here to the menu, you see these different options here. Come to the review tab, and that gives you all of these options. The thing here, let's say you're reading along and you want to make a comment about this sentence, this first sentence, for example. I'll highlight it, I'll click and drag, I'll highlight it, then I come and I click new comment. It highlights that text and it brings up a little box here so that I can put some comments, and I can suggest a revision or just say there's a problem here, or great opening or something like that, or whatever the comment is, and then that saves that. Okay, let's just go back to the Home tab here and look at a few more features of the right click. So I'll right click here, and again we can adjust the font here with the right click. We can adjust the paragraph and paragraph spacing. Another nice tool is, in fact, even in the shortcut, there's a new comment here if we wanted to. This is called a shortcut menu, and you could add a comment about something. But let's go ahead and look at this feature here, synonyms. Let's say there's a different word you're looking for. It's like powder, but maybe you don't want to use powder. Maybe you've already used the word powder a lot. You're looking for a different word, or there's another word that's just on the tip of your tongue. You can come and click on it, right-click, and then do synonyms, and it brings up this little menu of other words that are similar. In this case, similar to powder: dust, ash, residue. And I might look at that and say, yes, ash, that's the word I was looking for. And I just click on that and it automatically changes. Okay, a few other things. Word count. Sometimes that's part of assignments. If you look down here, it says 165 words. Okay, that's the word count. Let's say I just wanted to know how many words were in the second paragraph. I can click and highlight it, and then it tells me down here there's 80 of 165 words. So the total document is 165 words. This paragraph happens to have 80. Okay, let's do the spell feature. Let's say I'm going to spell the word truck. Okay, so I just spelled the word truck. I obviously misspelled it, but I can right-click on that, and it offers suggestions. It's basically saying, did you mean this? Did you mean that? And I can select that as, yep, that's the word I was looking for. Another thing, let's talk about the size of the, I'm going to go ahead and delete this comment. So you see, it's always handy to do that right click to see what menu comes up. I just right clicked on the comment, and there's the option to delete the comment. Let's say I want to make my page larger or smaller. I come down here, and with these plus and minus signs, I can adjust the size of my paper. Okay, now let me show you a few buttons that are handy for aligning your text in certain ways. Most of the default in documents is that things are aligned on the left to the left-hand side of the page, but you can change that. So let's say we wanted to take this little bit of text here and center it. I could click, I highlight it, I come up to this button, and I just click it and it moves it right to the center. And even if I kept adding to this, it would keep all that text in the center. Okay. Also, another, let's see, handy button. Let's make a list here. Let's say I wanted to have these be bulleted points in a list. I click and I highlight them, and I come up here, and now they're bulleted. Or maybe I want them numbered. I click on that button, and now they're numbered. Okay. But also look how it added an extra space in between those. I can click on that and highlight, come to paragraph. Oops, never mind, cut that. Another thing I might want to do on the document is to add page numbers. And so you can just come up here and go to Insert, and then select Page Numbers over here. And then it asks you, where do you want them? At the top of the page, and if you want on the top, right, center, or left. And so you just pick what you're going for here. We'll put it at the right. And there's the page number. So even if I come down here, and I come down to a second page, see, it's automatically going to number the second page. Maybe I want to have my name here. And so that's Lawrence, page 1, page 2. It's just going to keep that in the header of the document. Okay, and last but not least, I probably should have actually done this first. The first thing you do when you open a document is to save it. You don't want to write the whole document and then decide to save it. If you have a power outage or a glitch in your computer or whatever, you don't want to lose all that work. So the first thing when you open up a document, even if you're just brainstorming, even if it's just a rough draft, you want to save it. So you click File, and then you come down to Save As, and you select the place on your computer that you want to save it. Go ahead and click that. And just for fun, I'll save this to my desktop. You might have a folder in your documents that you want to save it to. I'm going to save it to the desktop, and I'm going to, the file name, this is a test. I'll let that go ahead and be the file name, and I'll click Save. OK, and then if we'll go out and look at my desktop, and there's the document right there. This is a test. You probably don't want to save too many documents to your desktop. It will start to get cluttered. It's great to create a folder and save those into a folder. And let me show you how to do that real quick. So most computers are going to have, well, let's go back to this here. We want to, let's say we want to put this in a folder, Save As, and I already have folders with these names, and I just would go ahead and click on that folder, and it would open up that folder. Okay, so that's a little bit about Microsoft Word. There's plenty of other things, plenty of other features that you can play with, and I would recommend you do just that. Open up, get some text on there. If you have to copy and paste it, that's fine, or just some other document, and then just play around. Go ahead and just experiment. Come up and play with the words. What does it look like if I highlight something? Oh, well, that's cool. Then you can just click Undone. What do these do? What does that do? And you can just kind of play with this and come through the, you can play with turning this into columns. Maybe I want that to be in 2 columns. So I select there, and all of a sudden those paragraphs are put in 2 columns. So just play around and see what's possible. You're not going to do any major damage. Just open a document that you can play with. So hopefully that gives you a few ideas of what you can do with Microsoft Word, at least get you started and give you enough skills to be successful in the class.